forgotten J. Henry.
Out of sight.
Well, I suppose it's because the circumstances are so different.
Well, it can't be that different, or he wouldn't be interested.
Oh, actually, they are, Jill. Last time, the deal was to take over the entire motel. This time, we're offering a minority interest.
Well, J. Henry's interest in anything is never minor. He's up to something.
You bet.
Is there any way of stopping him from buying the shares?
Yes, but do we want to? Oh, look, we could go on talking in circles. I suggest that we just mull it all over, and if we have any ideas, bring them up at this afternoon's meeting.
Yeah, good idea.
Simply can't work out why J. Henry wants to buy in.
Well, I suppose we'll find out eventually.
Yeah, when it's too late.
She had nobody to turn to, you see. I mean, a girl like that can't expect to be cope with a man like that. It takes a fella, doesn't it?
Well, he got his answer from me, I can tell you. Why didn't she call Shoey McPhee?
Ooh, it'd have been worse, wouldn't it? You know what he's like, but he'd be working in the kitchen. Gosh, there'd have been ructions. No, they need somebody that the girls can call upon, you know, like a head waiter. I mean, surely to goodness they need somebody like that. Mrs. Hunter was thinking about it, you know. I don't know why she hasn't done something about it.
Oh, well, they won't be in too much of a hurry if what I've heard of the last head waiter was anything to go by. More trouble than he was worth, by all accounts.
Oh?
With the girls. Couldn't keep his hands to himself.
Oh, well, they'll be more careful who they take on next time, then, won't they?
Well, let's hope so.
They could certainly do with somebody to keep in charge of things around here before it gets out of hand. I mean, it would look good, wouldn't it, for the custom, I mean. Place this size needs a head waiter.
Well, as long as he's not foreign. I can't be doing with these Italians at any price.
Well, he could be French.
Oh, that'd be worse. All snapping fingers and frog's legs.
No pleasing you, Doris. Perhaps Mr. Hunter could find somebody from Yorkshire.
Oh, that'd be the day. A Yorkshireman waiting on tables. Well, that's my last. I'm off. I should have been gone half an hour since. I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, kitchen duty.
No, restaurant. So if we get any customers like Glenda had last night, I'm ready for them.
Oh, I don't think we'll get too like that.
Oh, you never know. They don't seem too fussy who they let in these days.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Good afternoon, sir. Can I help you?
Afternoon, miss. I hope you can. Miss Doris Luke. I understand she works here.
Yes, that's right, but
I'd be obliged to have a talk with her, if she's not too busy.
I'm afraid she's off duty this afternoon.
Oh, some other time, then.
Unless... Wait a moment. I'll just ring through to the kitchen. Sometimes she's a little late leaving.
I don't want to put you to any trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all.
Thank you, miss.
Perhaps you'd like to take a seat over there.
Oh, thanks.
Who shall I say is asking for her?
Just a friend.
Oh, Kath. You saved me a call. There's a gentleman asking for Doris.
Oh, she's gone. Shift duty.
What a pity. He seemed quite nice.
What, that man over there?
Hmm.
I've never seen him before.
Do you think he's a friend?
Well, not from round here. I know all Doris's friends. I'll have a word.
Thank you. I think he's going to be rather disappointed.
Excuse me. I believe you were wanting Miss Luke.
Aye, if it's convenient.
Well, I'm awfully sorry. She's just gone. You've missed her 5 minutes ago.
Oh. Oh, well, that said she might have. Waste a journey, then.
Well, is there anything I can do? Can I take a message?
No. Very nice of you.
Well,
doesn't matter.
She'll be back at 6 o'clock. What name shall I say? It's funny.
You're certainly in a hurry to get away.
That's what I thought.
Point that I was trying to make, David, is that we have managed perfectly well without a head waiter for 5 years. I can't think of a single good reason why we should hire one now.
Well, I'll give you two. One, the restaurant is bigger, and two, the restaurant is better.
There are problems, love. There's no doubt about it.
Teething troubles.
It gives the restaurant an amateurish air not having a head waiter.
I mean, things aren't even running smoothly.
They certainly aren't.
Well, I think we've said everything there is to say. So, shall we put it to a vote?
Right. Now, I move that we appoint a head waiter manager at a salary to be agreed by a negotiation with the successful applicant. All those in favour? The motion's carried. Now, next item on the agenda is J. Henry's telex asking for first refusal to buy the new share issue.
I'm not for him coming in.
There's no chance he'll become a majority shareholder.
You underestimate him.
Possibly. I can count, and the figures are unarguable. Besides, I have to agree with J. Henry. We do have a sort of moral obligation to him. The first offer not having gone through.
Well, that is your obligation, David. You made the first offer, and you withdrew it.
The motel has an obligation. I was acting on behalf of the motel. So technically speaking, the motel withdrew the offer.
For very good reasons of the motels, of course. Now look, while we're on moral issues, what are we going to do about Malik? I mean, we've made just as firm a commitment to him. And his money is just as good as Henry Pollard's, even though there isn't as much. Besides, he's more straightforward than Pollard.
How do you know that?
Oh, because anybody's more straightforward than Pollard. And believe you me, I've had personal experience.
Shall we put it to the vote? Or does anyone else have any smart aphorisms to offer?
David.
Sorry. Right, now we have to decide whether J. Henry Pollard or Mr. Malik be invited to take up the new share issue. All those in favor of J. Henry Pollard. All those in favor of Mr. Malik.
2 votes for each.
Which means that the vote will be decided by total shareholdings. Now, between us, Jill and I hold the majority. So the decision of this board is that the new share issue be offered to J. Henry Pollard.
Why did you vote for him, Jill?
I rather like Mr. Pollard.
Well, I think it's a mistake.
Well, I know that it is. I mean, it's contrary to all logic that J. Henry would go to all the trouble to send telexes from wherever over a minority interest in what he sees as a tuppenny, halfpenny provincial operation. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. He's up to something. You'll see.
That man who came asking for Doris this afternoon. I said she'd be on duty at 6. I thought he might have come back.
No, I've not seen him. But I've been thinking. Well, there was something, I don't know, familiar about him. And I couldn't think what it was. But now I remember it was his voice.
His voice? What, North Country?
Yes, but different. I've heard it before. The telephone call for Doris. The man who wouldn't give his name. It was the same.
Are you sure?
I think so. Yes, I'm sure. It was the same.
I don't like the sound of that. He wouldn't give me his name either. There's something a bit fishy there. You know, I think I better warn her. You hear such funny things these days, don't you?
Good evening, ladies.
Father?
Good evening, Mr. Malik. My, you are looking smart. Special occasion.
A very special occasion indeed.
Oh, I mean, of course, you always look smart, I know, but it's just that, you know, the carnation in your buttonhole, I thought you might be going to a wedding or something.
Well, in a way, it is not unlike a wedding, a celebration of partnership.
Oh, fancy. Well, I wish you luck then.
Thank you.
Father,
Yes.
are you sure?
Sure? Sure about what?
Well, that everything has been settled. The shares and...
My dear girl, of course. Only the formalities remain. Why do you think I have been invited here this evening?
Perhaps just to talk?
Naturally to talk. There must be discussion. No doubt over a refreshment. Very pleasant. Now, you pick up the phone and announce my arrival. I should not like my fellow directors to be kept waiting.
Nothing's been signed, you know.
A gentleman's agreement. That's the way of we British. Don't look so anxious. Nothing will go wrong.
What are you looking at?
It's the directory of directors. You should see the companies that Pollard is a director of. Multinational companies. India, United States, Argentina...
All right, Adam, all right. You've made your point.
Yes, but it's too late.
I must say I find it difficult to understand J. Henry's motive.
Yes. Yes. 1 minute. Mr. Malik is on his way to the office, presumably to be formally welcomed as a member of the board. What do we tell him?
Oh, no, David. This is all you're doing. You can tell him.
Yes?
Good evening. Is Mr. Lamont at home?
No, I'm afraid it's not.
Ah, just my luck, innit?
Was he expecting you?
Oh, yeah. I'm here at his invitation.
Oh, well, in that case...
I tell you, he was right, wasn't he? You know, he said to me, when you see my new place, you're going to be very impressed. And I have to admit it, I am. Bit of a problem. I can only give him 10 minutes. If he don't show up by then, I've got to see a Mr. Birkinshaw at the golf club.
Oh, that's only a couple of minutes by car.
That's true, very true.
So if you don't mind waiting...
The car. Will it be all right in the road out there?
Oh, yes, I think so.
Well, I'm terrified of vandals, you know, company car and all that.
Oh, I know what you mean. Look at them.
Yeah, these kids nowadays, they'll... Oh, yes. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. I tell you, makes my pad look very humble.
Do sit down.
Oh, thank you.
May I offer you a drink?
It's very kind of you, Mrs. Lamont.
Oh, sherry, whiskey, gin?
Oh, the middle one, I think.
With...
Splash of soda, perfect.
Reggie didn't say anything about your coming.
Oh, no, he just rang this morning, you know, fixed it all up. Bit of a rush job.
Oh. What line of business are you in, exactly?
Insurance.
Travel?
You name it.
I expect that is it.
Oh, thank you. You, thinking of taking a little trip tonight, you somewhere?
Well, maybe, but it's not quite decided yet.
Here's to your health, then.
And to yours, Mr... You didn't give me your name.
Lee. But my friends, they call me Eddie.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Mr.
Mr. Malik. Good evening. Good evening. I hope I have not made you hurry your meeting. Mr. Chan said at 6 o'clock. Here I am, with British punctuality, as you can see.
No, that's perfect. Would you like a sherry, or perhaps... no, I beg your pardon.
That's perfectly all right. In Rome, one does as the Romans. It is your custom to offer drink to seal a bargain. So if you have some orange juice or mineral water...
Yes, I'll get you one.
Do sit down.
Thank you very much. I must confess I've been so busy doing one thing another. However, I do not feel tired. Our cousins, the Arabs, have an old proverb. On the day of victory, no one is tired.
Mr. Malik.
Mr. Hunter.
Mr. Malik, as you know, this afternoon we had a board meeting to discuss your proposed purchase of the new share issue and your election to the board of the motel.
Indeed, I do. This is one day I have been waiting with some impatience, Mr. Hunter.
Well, unfortunately, since then there has been a change in our plans, and we are not in a position to give you an answer at this point.
Do forgive me, but I understood the answer had been given, that my offer had been accepted. Well, we are all here, are we not? What is to stop us signing a contract here and now, and concluding our business in a friendly spirit of cooperation and trust?
Since you spoke to Mr. Chance this morning, we've had another offer for the shares, and it's an offer we can't ignore.
Ah. Yes, I understand. Even though I think your shares have been already overpriced, I'm not at all any good at bargaining. I can see the other gentleman's point of view quite clearly. It's a drawback in a business. I could manage to improve my offer, say, by 5.5%. No, that's grasping. Friends and colleagues do not talk of half of 1%. I could increase to 6%. There.
Mr. Malik, I am very sorry, but we're not in a position to accept any offer from you until we've spoken to this other person. I'm afraid there's really no point in continuing the meeting for the moment.
I see. Well, I tell you quite frankly, I'm surprised. Very surprised. I thought of myself such a good judge of characters. I did not think I should be treated with such discourtesy by English ladies and gentlemen. You know, Mr. Hunter, in some parts of the world, there's an expression of a very solemn undertaking, the word of an Englishman. That dates back from the time of the British Empire. The world changes, does it not? Well, one does not have to rely anymore on anyone's word. But for the man who has been unjustly treated, there's still the law of the Englishman. That has not changed. Mrs. Harvey, Mrs. Hunter, gentlemen, good night. We shall be hearing from each other again, I think, quite soon.
I have a very nasty taste in my mouth.
Pour me one as well, will you, Adam?
Well, I suppose you're feeling very virtuous, having voted for Mr. Malik and against J. Henry Pollard.
No, just a little bit shabby.
What else could I do?
Sorry, I can't change the way I feel.
Too much class. Now that's it in a nutshell, innit? Saw it as soon as you opened the door. I said to myself, now what has old Reg done ever to deserve all this lot, eh? I mean, can you blame me? I mean, let's face it. You're in a different league, eh? Got taken in by a bit of rough, did you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I apologise. Way out of order, that. No, Reg does have his good points. I mean, who knows that better than I do? Generous. I mean, he's laid it on for you, hasn't he, eh? There's no getting away from that. And let's face it, you could have done yourself a lot worse, eh? And that kid of yours? Ah, well, he'd make any parent proud, wouldn't he? Only child, is he? Or have you got a regular little police force on tap?
What do you intend to do?
Intend doing. Ah, yeah, that's a question, isn't it? I wish I could give you, and I'd like you to believe this, a straight answer to that. But depends, doesn't it?
On what?
On Reg. Don't see him as a man of violence. Ah, a bit above all that, isn't he, really? Prefers to subcontract. Suits me fine. Because the last thing I want to do is mess this place up. It's a nice place, isn't it? If he puts 1 foot wrong, it's curtains. Now, if I may be so bold as to give you a word of warning, you sit very still and very quiet until he comes in. Now, that is my honest advice to you. You do that, maybe we can come to some sort of a deal.
Hello, Pebble. Everything all right?
Yes.
Good. I had a word with Peter about bringing the rest of the luggage out, please.
Want to buy a camera, Reg? If I help myself to another, they're a bit mean with the scotch, down the scrubs.